Hi, hello, dearest ones. Hello from long ago. Um, um, I thought I would do a video while I was in Houston, but I never got it done. So I hope you've been able to stay up to date somewhat through the few CaringBridge updates we gave. As you can see, I'm back in my room. We're home. We're stunned and we're home. We got home yesterday, like around dinner time-ish, and now it's almost dinner time again. So we've made it 24 hours home. Oh, I can't tell you guys what a gift, what a joy to be able to leave that hospital, to leave the hotel that we were most recently staying in, and to leave Houston, to leave MD Anderson. It was 6 weeks to the day. We left one Tuesday and we came back Tuesday, 6 weeks later. So we're kind of in shock, you know, like what just happened. So anyway, I wanted to do a video just to connect this way, and hopefully give you, I wanted you to know that we're home. I give you a little bit of update. So I'm gonna give you a little like content from my last update that was on CaringBridge to yesterday. Okay, so I think in the update we said Hannah and Sarah were about to come. Yes, so they had each come separately in the beginning of our stay in the hospital. Sarah was there first, and then Hannah was there when I got sick, and then I got out of the hospital, and we had a revolving door of love with each of my sisters coming, and Lisa brought her husband, John, along too during their stay. So when Hannah and Sarah came back, they came back together, and man, we needed that. I asked for prayer from our church for endurance, because I was just done, you know. I didn't want to drive the circles in the parking garage another morning and land in the MD Anderson and have them ask it. So kind. They say hello at the door. There's someone always there. And they say, can I help you know where to go? And we always say, no, thank you, because we know where to go, because we know that place like the back of our hand now. And the days were so long when I had to go. And I just felt done. So having Hannah and Sarah come together at the tail end was just like totally awesome. So the first night that they arrived, I was so tired, but we were all sitting on the couch together and flipping channels, trying to figure out something to watch, and we landed on Parent Trap. the not the oldest one with Haley Mills, but the Lindsay Lohan version. And we had so much fun. We all love the movie so much. And, you know, being about twin girls is really fun. But it's just a fantastic movie. It's so happy. And it has some of the best music in the world that just makes you happy to be alive. And so that was our first night together, and it was so sweet. And then I think that was on a Sunday night, and on Monday they had to both start working. They work virtually, both of them. And so I mean, technically Hannah goes in every so often, but it was great that they work virtually, mostly so that they could work. So when we were at the Airbnb, they would work and we would piddle and do sort of our routine. We didn't have a routine. We sort of did, let me say, sorry. You know, it was Houston summer, but we could go out in the morning and it was kind of nice. And I was so grateful for that. So we would try for me to walk to the end of the street, which was only a quarter mile there and back. Excuse me. Then I caught a cold. So anyway, we would do either, you know, Airbnb day, or we would do hospital day, outpatient, all four of us together, and it was great. I was just, as I said, barely hanging on, but they were so cheerful and helpful, and it was great. And my white blood cell counts are low. They've been kind of bouncing around a little bit. That means your immune system is down. And so I caught a cold, but I never got a fever. And thank the Lord. It's just so nice to think about the prayer support when I look at the things that we lived through. If I had gotten a fever, I would have had to have been admitted to the hospital again. Oh, it would have been so hard, such a challenge, such a setback. So, my body fought the cold pretty well. I still have this cough, but they said, I shouldn't have thought about it. They said, you know, that can last for weeks. But my immune system is fighting. It's good. Excuse me. So, excuse me. So anyway, we just kept going. And Sarah left on a Friday last week, and we had to say our goodbyes to her. And then on Saturday, we had to move out of the Airbnb because we had originally, the dates were such that we were supposed to be leaving on that day, on the 16th, but we weren't. We had to go back on Tuesday to see the doctor. I had a PET scan on Friday, the day that Sarah left. And so the PET scan, I had one right before I started CAR-T cell therapy. And then the thing is, they then check on day 30. They have you do a PET scan. And the hope is that they find no cancer. The thing for me is my PET scan was clear, if you recall, on day 0, on day -1 is when they did the PET scan. it was clear because I'd had some immunotherapy for them to knock out all the cancer that I had in my neck and different areas in my chest and stuff. And it had worked. They didn't want the T cells to have too much cancer to fight, because then it might throw me into the neurotoxicity symptoms. So they had done the immunotherapy, it had cleared it, and I had a PET scan and it was clear. And so technically I was in remission before I started CAR T. And I think I must have told y'all that I talked to the doctor. I was like, why would I want to go through CAR T if I'm in remission now just from immunotherapy? And he said that this is the best case scenario when you've had a recurrence of lymphoma after having a stem cell transplant. If they can knock down the cancer to where you don't see it anymore, you still need CAR T because there's still free-floating cancer cells and lymphoma cells. And those will come back. I mean, the studies have shown they will come back with just giving chemo or immunotherapy. I'm so sorry. I didn't anticipate this issue. So, he said, and when it comes back, it often has learned a whole lot, and it comes back more aggressively. And so that's what they wanted, was to have a clear PET scan. It's like the best case scenario. So went through CAR T in the hospital. Felt good for 6 days, just kind of hanging around, trying not to be bored, and then got the side effects, but not the bad ones. I got flu-like symptoms and fever, but I didn't get the neurotoxicity stuff. Thank y'all again. I just see God gladly hearing all of your prayers and hearing the cries of our hearts too, and protecting me from that. So it was a breeze, really. So I did all that outpatient stuff for 3 weeks, I guess it was, and then got a PET scan, and then waited, and then we saw the doctor yesterday. And he told us that my PET scan was clear and that we could be released to go home. And we had anticipated it because the nurse practitioner had called and told us the day before the good news. And so we were mostly packed up at our hotel, and so that we could leave as soon as we left the doctor's office. So yesterday we left the doctor's office. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I wanted to tell you that we're kind of saying, our goodbyes, and the nurse practitioner who was in the office with the doctor, she goes, the bell, and he goes, oh yes, would you like to ring the bell? And I was so excited. I think I told y'all last time that after the stem cell transplant, there was no bell ringing ceremony. And it's like, you know, you just leave the hospital and then you go do all this outpatient stuff every day, and there's never a bell ringing. There's never a closure. You know, you did it. It's done. Congratulations. And so I said, yes. And they said, okay, well, you'll have to wait just a little bit. We have some preparation to do. So I think they had, I don't know, they said they had to hang the bell. So anyway, it took a while, but at first I was like, I don't care. I want to wait. I want to ring the bell. I don't care if we get home an hour later. I need to ring the bell. And so we sat out in the waiting room and just kept waiting and waiting, and like, oh no, I thought maybe I need to give up on this bell, but I really need to do it. We were all starving, and so finally they came out and said, 1 minute. And so we were like, okay, thank goodness. So then they came and got me, and Hannah and Craig walked behind me, videoing me, and I walked down the hall, and there was Dr. Nier's team lining the halls and saying, I can't remember, time to ring the bell, time to ring the bell, or something like that. And so I kind of started doing the jig, and I rang the bell. It was this big, huge bell, like this big. And the one at Texas Oncology that I rang the first time I had cancer, it was, you know, like a normal bell, like this size. This one was like this big. So it was very exciting. It was really fun. And we felt very festive, running out to the car and getting in and going round and round and around the parking garage and out of there. And we were like, we're free. We can do anything we want. But what we wanted was to go pack up the car and get out of Dodge. So we did. We went, and Hannah and Craig were so fast at packing up. I tried to help a little bit, but they were so good at it. So we got home, and our dogs were in their crates. And so we had a reunion with the dogs, and it was so, so sweet. They were definitely different. We always come home and get them out of their crates because they go in their crates. So we went in there, and they acted so different. They were like, oh, fun, jumping up and licking our faces, and it was all very exciting. Okay, hang on a sec. Wait a minute. Does this work? Okay, oh well. Can't remember how to pause. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I would pause during these coughs, but I don't remember how. So, okay, it helps if I blow my nose and then I cough less. but okay, it's just getting all activated because I'm excited telling about it. So anyway, last night we got home and we unpacked, and it was so weird and so out-of-body experience. Being back at your own house, but you don't recognize it. You're like, what? Oh gosh, I remember talking about this after the transplant. Like at the kitchen sink, I couldn't remember which way was hot or cold. It was like that again, and it was wonderful and weird and just hard, man. Re-entry is so hard after a trip, isn't it? Have some of you taken trips this summer? It's so awful, those couple hours when you don't know what to do with yourself when you get home. I mean, you might be one who unpacks everything and tidies up and puts everything away. But we're not like that. And coming home yesterday, I mean, we had so much stuff. It's going to take us a week to put everything away. Okay, so anyway, the psalm for the day, for the week, I mean, this week, Craig was like, did you read the psalm? This was actually yesterday. And I said, yes, I couldn't believe it. It was so fitting for where we are in our lives right now. So it starts out, I love you, O Lord, my strength. And then it goes on to say, in verse 4, the cords of death encompassed me. The torrents of perdition assailed me. The cords of Sheol entangled me. The snares of death confronted me. Okay, I'm going to try and pause this. Okay, I paused. I figured it out. I was so scared. It was 2 options, 50-50 chance of just killing it. Okay, so I went and got a cough drop, and while I was at it, put on a little bit of lipstick. Okay, so so it goes, the psalm. It's amazing. It goes on to talk about God, that smoke went up from his nostrils and devouring fire from his mouth. Glowing coals flamed forth from him. So he is angry at what is trying to harm his beloved, his children. This is written by David. And it says, he bowed the heavens and came down. Thick darkness was under his feet. He rode on a chariot, or a cherub, like an angel, and flew. He came swiftly upon the wings of the wind. And it just goes on and on like that. And I had started reading it, and it was the day we were going to be released to go home. And I thought, oh my goodness, Lord, that's how you were. Is that how you were with me? Did you fly on the clouds to save me? And he reached down from on high. He took me. He drew me out of mighty waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy. So that is the psalm for this week. In this blue book thing that we use. And I feel really grateful that that is the psalm for this week. And I'm just barely begun to process where we've been. But having that psalm is helping me to use it backwards. Because as we were going through it, it's hard. It's hard when you're in the midst of something so intense and something that wears your body out too, and your mind too. It's hard to access a lot of sturdy thought and sturdy feelings and ability to process So it's just like, you know, you were all the people who brought the paralytic on the mat to Jesus. And the Lord did meet me in ways. I mean, again, so much through people, but in different ways through his word and through this one dog that we would see on the walk, on the quarter-mile walk there and back. The cutest, sweetest yellow lab type dog would run up to the fence if she was outside, and there's a fence at the sidewalk, and Annie, she would let us, she would sit and let us pet her, and she'd lick, and then she'd stand up and let us say hello to her, and oh my gosh, it was just reached so deep into my soul. I needed so badly animals. It was really interesting. We saw so few birds. So, you know, there was a therapy dog at where we would have to sit and wait to get my infusions. And I would just stare at that dog, just wanting so badly to connect with it. I wished I could touch it, but couldn't do that. But anyway, so Psalm 18 is pretty cool and pretty special. Now this morning, it turned out to be cooler than it's been, I think, here in Longview. So I woke up late, like, well, 8. I didn't want to get up. I was like, I don't know what to do. What? I'm back home, what? But I made myself get up, and I was able to drink some coffee for the first time. Working back to coffee when you've been sick is always hard. And so finally, like a month after the hospital, I was able to enjoy a cup, sipping and sitting at where I am right now, and praying and reading Psalm 18. It was very lovely. And then I decided it wasn't very warm outside. I mean, hot. And so I thought, I'm going to try to get some exercise. And so I went for a walk, and I walked for a mile, which is really good. And I saw the 2 Mississippi kites, those incredible, they're in the hawk family, but they're nice hawks. They don't kill any animals or anything. They just eat insects and stuff, and they have the most beautiful soaring flight. And they also will kind of hover over you, and they have a really cute call. And I heard the call, and Craig said they were welcoming you home. And it was so amazing because we didn't see any Mississippi kites for 6 weeks, and they're only around for 2 to 3 months, you know, in the summer. They come early summer and stay until August, and sometime in August. And so we thought maybe they were gone, but they're not. They said hello, and you know, it was like a treat from God for sure. So today we were slowly unpacking and just trying to make sense of our lives in a very concrete way. Like, Oh, what is this? Where does this go? Oh, okay. Like that. But Hannah was here, but we had to bring her to the airport. I had to leave at 3. But all day she had meetings virtually, and so we got to hear her in her meetings, and that was super fun because she works for The Athletic, which is a sports thing, and a sports journal with the New York Times. And so it just all sounded fun and interesting, and it helped to have something besides just being home, in our home with all our stuff and feeling so tired. And so that was really a joy. And then we brought her to the airport, and it was kind of like the final step in us getting home and trying to start over again. And start over again, figure out what our lives are. So we love you all. I love you even if you're a stranger to me. Thank you for visiting and for entering in to my situation. I hope I hope that what I've shared helps you enjoy your life too, and enjoy your life. Whatever, encourages you and helps you think about your life. I wish I had awesome questions to ask you about your life. I do wonder what you're doing and if the school season starting has affected your life. It was pretty shocking to realize we were going to get home and everyone is going to have started school. We were still sort of in the summer mindset. So anyway, or if you're not affected by school, what do you do? And how's it going? What are you suffering through any crises currently? And if so, I hope that you're knowing the Lord's presence. And maybe you could go read Psalm 18 and ask him for faith that it applies to you and that he rides across the winds. Last thing, when Craig was in seminary, I was able to sit in on and audit several classes, and one of them, the professor was an Old Testament professor, and he brought up this psalm. I think it was actually, anyway, it was a theology class teaching how to think about the Bible, and he said that we're all to Western and I don't know. Anyway, I think at that time it was too modernistic, where you just think logically and in systems. And he said, you need to be a poet and read the poetry as a poet. But he said that passage, we just strip it down to metaphor and that's what it's like. God rides on the clouds, steaming through the skies to deliver me. That he doesn't really do that. And he was challenging us to be open to the idea that maybe God does do that. So don't read the Bible so metaphorically to where you miss the amazing things that God Himself is doing. Anyway, I better say goodbye. And it's just really fun to connect again through video. I'd love to receive any messages if you want to. I have one friend who said it always tries to make her sign in, and then it won't let her sign in right or whatever. And so she texts me comments, but if you can, leave them there or anywhere else I post this video, which might be Facebook and CaringBridge. Okay, friends, but no pressure. I just would like to hear from you. Nothing special, just to hear your voice. All right. Have a great time. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It encourages me. And talk to you soon. Bye.